Ryan's been a big, I'll just read out the post. He says, I've been talk on the phone first for the last 3 years. So he's a big fan of just like calling people up, talking on the phone rather than texting, blah, blah, blah. And he's written some stuff about that. And one of the points, one of the things that he thinks is very interesting about talking on the phone, about like actually talking like on Clubhouse, like a conversation rather than tweeting and texting and things, is that in live dialogue, there's a very different bar. And yeah, I think this is referring to Clubhouse. He tweeted at some point last year. He says, funny to feel Think Boys exposing themselves after the first 5 minutes of discussion. Bulleted facts, Uncle Pete statements, no-brainer observations, fake biz inspo don't hold up for long in live dialogue. That's tweeted. And in this blog post, whatever, it's actually just like a Dropbox paper article. You know about someone, you follow them on Twitter, you watch their videos, you build this idea about them. Then you see them speak. A thrill of excitement comes as you are now meeting them. They open their mouth and you can't just wait for them to spit those same thoughts in person. Yet as you hear them, you realize it's different. They are not the same as their online persona. That's a regular occurrence in Clubhouse. Why? Because talking, and having to do so within an active conversation for 15 to 60 minutes, is far different than editing videos, tweeting 178 characters, or being on a scripted podcast. It rivals truly meeting someone, and perhaps even more pure, given that you can't be distracted by body language, aesthetics, and hundreds of other signals. It's not Clubhouse specific, it's the medium. It would be the same at the beer garden. Very quickly you get a fuller picture of who they are. Can they actually listen? How high is their EQ, emotional quotient, if you're into that kind of thing? Some people say this. Can they speak to a subject with depth that they so often tweet about? Are they actually wildly funny? Do they ask thoughtful questions? Do they keep the beach ball going, etc.? Some folks certainly treat other social apps as a means to build a reputation and yield influence through distinctive tactics. That narrow and well-honed pattern has the potential to get disrupted when you find yourself surrounded by actual voices, jokes, and questions. He has a subheading that says, talking transforms. That's why you call your mum, go to lunch with friends, tap house party notifications, and open FaceTime. That's why we're all using Zoom, Slack calls, Internet Town, Upstream, Tandem, and Icebreaker for a mix of personal and professional uses. These are all like talking apps. Basically, talking is actual social. Tweets and stories are just surface area meant to be talked about. How do you use Clubhouse? You open your mouth and your ears. That's it. You're off and running and immediately are doing the most important thing, talking. It makes doing the most difficult thing very easy. Not every interaction in our day has to be synchronous, but if social distancing and quarantine have shown us one thing, it's that you can't get by as an internet citizen, family member, or friend with endless swiping, scrolling, and tapping on feeds. You don't truly feel fulfilled emotionally, socially, or mentally without conversation. You need to actively engage and earn the opportunity to get to random topics, nuance, stories, jokes, and depth through dialogue. Why are folks listening and talking for hours night after night on Clubhouse? Because it's inherently healthy and normal. You don't get the same social media hangover and thoughts of regret you get by tapping passively on Instagram stories or TikToks or tweets for hours. I think that's a really good point. Like last year when I was sort of using Clubhouse for a bit, I used it on and off for a couple of weeks in like July or something. It really was quite magical. Like I'd like stay up past my bedtime for like 2-3 hours, just like listening to people talk, I'd occasionally join the discussion. It's so true that you don't have the same social media hangover after doing that compared to scrolling through Twitter for an hour, Instagram stories, whatever. Like it is fundamentally a different thing.